It was a dark and stormy night when Dickinson County 911 received the call from Joseph Daniels in the pre-dawn hours of April 4th, 2018, at approximately 6:30 a.m. The man on the line stated, "My son has escaped and we cannot find him." His son is Clyde Daniels, who was a handsome, blue-eyed, blonde 5-year-old boy with autism. The child the world knows now is Baby Joe. The horrific events that happened that night sounds like a screenplay of a horror movie. The blood-curdling thought of a child having to endure such a violent death is almost unimaginable. Baby Joe was nonverbal, but that only means without words, not absent of sounds. There were only 3 people that heard his death cries that night, 2 in which gave him life. This is Baby Joe's story through the eyes of strangers. Let's go back before that dreadful night of April 4th, 2018. Back to that place and time that could have possibly contributed to Baby Joe's vicious murder. Crystal Daniels was no stranger to mental illness or having a parent with mental illness. Crystal was diagnosed with schizophrenia and bipolar disorder as a young adult. She was removed from her mother's care when she was a preteen due to her mother's inability to care for her due to her own mental illness. After being removed from her mother's home, she was put into foster care systems and was placed with a loving family. She became pregnant as a young adult and became a single parent. Struggling, trying to care for a young child and dealing with her own mental illness became overwhelming, and her oldest son was removed from her care and was placed in foster care while she was receiving mental health care and counseling. This is when she met Joseph Daniels. Joseph and his stepmother helped Crystal, and she temporarily overcame the hurdles, and her son was placed back in her care. But was this the best thing for her son? He now was in the care of a schizophrenic mother who had outbursts of rage and a stepdad with his own variety of issues. Joseph Daniels even thought he was near genius level in intelligence. He exhibited eccentric behavior throughout his life, but with the violent outburst always just a moment away. Former fellow students that attended middle and high school with Joseph said he had a very short fuse. On one occasion threw a desk because someone triggered him. He would threaten to choke someone with a shoelace or say he would do it himself. He also held a black belt in Taekwondo. Both parents were on medication for their own particular mental condition, but the combinations, Joseph and Crystal's mental illness, equaled an appetite for destruction. It wasn't long after the oldest son was placed back into Crystal's custody, Baby Joe was born. Then 2 years later, the Daniels had another son. The couple were struggling financially. Neither were working, so they moved their family in with Joseph's father and stepmother. Joseph, known as Big Joe Daniels, and his wife Belle's sister Joyce, also lived with them. 5 adults and 3 small children living in a double-wide mobile home was not the dream Crystal had envisioned, and it was a huge trigger for her. She and other family members clashed on a regular basis. Once she grabbed Joyce's little dog by the back legs and beat it against the wall till it died. You ask yourself why she did that. Well, she did because she was told she could not have a house dog of her own. There were other incidents that have been confirmed that Crystal had threatened Joyce with a knife. She went to a neighbor's and called the police. Crystal has made other threats to the family as well. It had been rumored that Crystal engaged in several phone communications with a male subject and planned on leaving Joseph and moving out of state to live closer to her mother. Crystal's mother-in-law stated in an interview that Crystal was addicted to Xanax and had also been kicked out of pain management and was caring for an autistic child. Does not make a good mix. Obviously, it was too overwhelming for Joseph and Crystal. There was an incident that landed Baby Joe in the emergency room with injuries caused by his older brother. Or that's what the story that was given. Boys will be boys is the excuse the parents gave. All the warning signs were there, but no one noticed. Or did they? Sunday, April 1st, a pair of neglected and abused dogs belonging to the Daniels family were found after being dumped at a property approximately 9 miles away on Gardner's Creek Road by Joseph Daniels. What kind of person does this, especially on Easter? Did this have anything to do with the events 3 days later? Monday, April 2nd, Belle Daniels accompanied her husband on a haul in this transfer truck to Texas and would be out of state for several days. Some say this was very odd because she hardly ever stayed away from her grandsons for an extensive time. Tuesday, April 3rd, school officials confirmed baby Joe was at school. Crystal Daniels stated she put baby Joe to bed around 11 p.m. that night, then checked on him and his brother around 1 a.m. This was reportedly the last time baby Joe was seen at their home on Gardner's Creek Road. On Wednesday, April 4th, Joseph Daniels placed a 911 call asking for help to find his 5-year-old autistic son. He said he woke up to get the boys out of bed Wednesday morning, but it quickly became apparent baby Joe was not there. Daniels said he noticed the door was unlocked and realized his son must have gone outside sometime during the night. He stated Joe has wandered off before during the day and was easily found nearby, but he had never left at night. It was stated that the police had been called to the home several times previously for reports of baby Joe wandering off. The Tennessee Bureau of Investigations issued an endangered child alert and search crews headed out with hope to find this child. Thursday, April 5th, search crews, including authorities and hundreds of volunteers, spent hours searching multiple locations for baby Joe. Authorities confirmed numerous tips came in concerning possible evidence or sightings of Joe's who's nonverbal and has an autistic spectrum disorder. Joseph Daniels spoke to a media outlet and told them they were heartbroken. He added that they had given the child scent to the canine units from the child's clothing and pillow. The father also stated to authorities told him not to join the search because their scents could distract the canine units. A footprint was reportedly found that authorities hope belonged to 5-year-old Joe. Canines picked up his scent leading into a pond near his home. That pond was drained, but nothing was found. The scent abruptly dropped off. Nearby residents with cameras and hunters with cameras in the woods were asked to search their footage for any kind of clues of Joe's whereabouts. Daniel said he was very concerned that search crews have found very little sign of his son. He hopes that he is still out there somewhere, maybe lost and somehow staying warm, he stated. However, even though the hope, he said, he is seriously concerning the possibility someone abducted his son. As hundreds searched for baby Joe, as his parents underwent a polygraph test, both Joseph Daniels and Crystal Daniels failed polygraphs at the Dickinson County Police Department. On Saturday, April 7th, TBI officials confirmed the child's father had been taken into custody and charged with criminal homicide in baby Joe's disappearance. The search efforts turned into recovery efforts. They were now looking for baby Joe's body. Officials with the Department of Children's Services confirmed they were investigating the family along with the authorities and added the 5-year-old's 2 brothers, ages 3 and 8, had been placed with relatives. Joe Daniels confessed to punching baby Joe in the upper torso, head, and face until he died, according to his arrest report. Police said Joe Daniels then placed his son's lifeless body in the trunk of his car, driving it to a remote area and disposing of the body by putting it in a pond. Daniels was arrested on Saturday, April 7th, and was charged with first-degree murder, felony murder, aggravated child abuse, filing a false report, and tampering with evidence. According to Joseph's confession, he admitted to killing his son after he was woken up by his stepson, who said baby Joe urinated on the floor. I then told them to go get their butts in bed. Baby Joe started laughing, so I beat him, Joseph Daniels told the police. That after he beat his son, Baby Joe ran outside and was seen by a witness that was passing by at 1 a.m. Joe Daniels told law enforcement that he ran out and got Baby Joe back in the house. I beat him some more. That's when I killed Baby Joe, Joe Daniels stated in his confession. Joseph stated he took his wife's cell phone to use the flashlight when he went to put Baby Joe's body in the car. He told police he placed the boy's body in the trunk of his car and drove about 5 miles away to McClellan Road when he took the body from the trunk, carried Baby Joe over his right shoulder, and used Crystal's cell phone as a flashlight to carry Baby Joe into the woods. Investigators say the only consistent statement given by Joseph Daniels is that he killed his son. The location of the body changed 6 or more times. Joseph Daniels even helped in the search on McKinley Road, then slept in the back seat after they completed their search at that location. On Monday, April 9th, just 2 days after her husband was arrested, Crystal Nicole Daniels was also taken into custody and charged with aggravated child neglect, criminal responsibility, and filing a false report. According to court documents, Crystal Daniels was in the home when her husband killed their son. Crystal Daniels failed to report the injuries, abuse, and or homicide, despite multiple opportunities. Crystal Daniels took active steps to obstruct the abuse and homicide of Joe Clyde Daniels, the affidavit of her arrest has said. Crystal said she heard a painful scream, and then it went silent. She saw Joseph standing over Joe Clyde with his fists clenched, and Baby Joe was lying on the floor, according to Crystal's testimony. Joseph told her if she told anyone, he would kill her. Crystal went back to the bedroom, heard a car door shut, exited the bedroom, and Baby Joe was gone. She went back to the bedroom and went to sleep. Who does that? You would think after she supposedly watched her husband kill her son, she would have gathered her and her other 2 sons up and ran for their lives, or at least go to their neighbor's house and call 911 after Joseph left the property with Baby Joe's body. But no, she went back to bed and drifted back off to sleep. During Joseph's murderous fit of rage and the harrowing cries of pain from a child being beat to death, Joseph's Aunt Joyce was sleeping comfortably in her bedroom and did not hear a thing that night due to her partial hearing impairment. The parents of 5-year-old Joe Clyde Daniels appeared in Dickinson County Court Friday morning, April 13th, for their arraignment. Then on June 4th, the parents of Joe Clyde Daniels sent over for a grand jury. At that court appearance, both of them were met with protesters demanding to know, where is Baby Joe? Also on June 4th, Joseph Ray Daniels was ordered to take a forensic mental health exam to determine his ability to stand trial. Joseph Ray Daniels and Crystal Daniels, who were charged in the death of their 5-year-old son, Joe Clyde Daniels, were indicted by a special called session of the Dickinson County Grand Jury on Thursday, June 7th. Both Joseph and Crystal appeared on video stream before Judge David Wolf on Friday morning, June 8th, in Dickinson County Circuit Court. The words they spoke were only, "Yes, sir," when asked a few basic questions by the judge. On October 23rd, Joseph Daniels was found competent for trial after weeks of evaluations, according to his attorney. On October 3rd, Crystal Daniels' request for a bond reduction was denied. October 23rd, 2018, Joe Daniels recanted his confession, laying blame on his wife and an unidentified man. In a letter to his parents, Joseph Daniels said he thinks Baby Joe is still alive and Crystal is hiding the boy to frame him. He said Crystal called someone the night of the incident and it's become more clear that he's clearly involved. According to Joseph's theory, Crystal Daniels called another man to pick baby Joe up after she got him dressed and packed a bag and left Joe Clyde on the side of the road. "She's playing with fire and she's going to get burnt," he wrote. Police said Joseph and Crystal Daniels had a troubled relationship and that Crystal had planned to leave March of 2018 because of the physical abuse. She told police Joseph had body slammed her. Joseph Daniels goes on by saying he's been giving Crystal hell here at the Mental Health Institute. "Anything they have been asking me, I attack Crystal. She's playing with fire and she's going to get burnt." He continues in his letter stating, "If we can get Crystal to confess what really happened, we can win this case. I know it's a bizarre case. It's only a bizarre case because that's what he's making of it." On August 9, 2019, the woman accused of helping cover up the murder of her son said she wants to divorce Joe Clyde's father, an alleged killer. According to a source, a potential divorce filing would not have an impact on the trial, as Daniels could have already testified against her husband if it were on her own accord. The father of Joe Clyde Daniels stated on December 2, 2019, that he wouldn't agree to a divorce from Joe Clyde's mother unless she comes clean about what really happened to him. February 14, 2020, Crystal Daniels recants statements about what happened to her baby, Joe. Crystal Daniels is taking back key details she shared with the Tennessee Bureau of Investigations, according to reports. "Yes, I'm very frustrated," Crystal said, "and just you know. And I do understand that if I wouldn't have felt pressured at the time of the interview that was done with TBI, I was not on my mental health meds, and I do feel like I was pressured. There's such a thing as false confession, and I know, I regret every bit of what I said." The words from a so-called mother right there. Over the last couple of years, several court dates were continued for different reasons. They are set to be in court as of now, in August 2020. Both still remain under a $1 million bail. Blood was found on Joseph's clothes, his shoes, a shovel, and testing was done that indicated the presence of blood on the center console of the red Impala. DNA test proved the blood was Joseph Daniels' blood. There was a hair found on the shovel, but the DNA test for the hair has not been revealed. Joseph Daniels, in his interview, admitted that he's seen no blood. Crime scene teams did test and search for the existence of blood in the house, and those tests came back negative. They did not find any blood in the house whatsoever. There were two witnesses, one man that was traveling home from work that night that seen baby Joe running through the yard around 1 a.m. That morning, when a woman seen Joseph parked on the side of the road a couple of miles from his house, standing in the back of his car. She said he froze when he seen her coming, would not even look. It was around 5 a.m. when she witnessed him. Private investigator David Marshburn took up the case. He spent a week in Dickinson going over this case. Marshburn announced that he and an associate are now posting a $10,000 reward for any information that leads to the whereabouts of Joe Clyde Daniels, in this hope that it does produce some new leads on a search effort that has gone very cold. There were many searches for baby Joe. Even Texas EquuSearch sent people to help search and to train searchers what to look for. All searches ended up to a cold dead end of where could he possibly be. So the question is, who killed baby Joe on that cold, stormy night? Joseph has stated after recanting his original story that he seen Crystal smothering baby Joe with a pillow and threatened him with a knife if he told anyone. Then she left to dump his body. Some people think both of them beat baby Joe to death. The third person that was present that evening and seeing what happened was Baby Joe's 8-year-old brother. During an interview, Baby Joe's older brother said someone stabbed Baby Joe with a knife and described the person as if he was in an imaginary state. I'm sure a child's mind can and will substitute different images in their mind after witnessing such a violent and gruesome murder, especially one of his brother. Or did Joseph or Crystal tell him what to say? On the morning after Joseph had gotten back from dumping Baby Joe's body, Joseph and his stepson went for a ride. This was confirmed by a parent of children that lived just down the road from the Daniels, waiting for the school bus early that morning. Joseph stopped and told the children that Baby Joe was missing to please let the bus driver know. Then Joseph called the school and told them Baby Joe was missing and would not be at school that day. Then he called his parents, who were in Texas, to inform them of Baby Joe's disappearance, and then called 911. The two things that stand out the most are the actions of these so-called parents. Crystal Daniels considers herself a juggalo, which is her prerogative. But on April 5th, she posted a link from a Facebook page that was posted on April 4th. It stated, "Sad news to report. Father arrested on charge of homicide and death of 5-year-old Dickinson County boy." She posted this to the Juggalo Nation Facebook page. First off, how did this page administrators know this information on April 4th when it didn't happen till April 7th? And why did she post this on Juggalo Nation? Even the members on this page were confused why she would be on Facebook posting about her husband murdering their son. If that's not enough to understand Crystal's twisted mindset, Joseph posted on Facebook at 11:21 a.m. on April 4th, one chilling word: happy. This is far from happy. Joe Clyde Daniels, 5 years old at the time of his disappearance in 2018. He's missing from Garner's Creek Road, Dickinson County, Tennessee. There is a $10,000 reward for his whereabouts. If anyone has any information on Baby Joe, please call 1-800-TBI-FIND. Like and subscribe to our Missing Truth YouTube channel for further updates on Baby Joe's case, and join us on our Facebook page. Always remember, there's some sort of truth that remains in a lie.